my name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Nicholas Montez. Welcome back to another YouTube channel video, everybody. I'm so excited to have you all back here together again. Now, in today's video, guys, we've made it. So if you guys know, if you are real fans of my channel, or if you're just friends of me that's like to support my channel and, really just follow all my videos throughout the year, you know that the first series that I did this year was the DreamWorks movies, which was leading up to this film that I'm going to be talking about today, which is Spirit Untamed. So yeah, I started this series back in January with The Road to El Dorado, and finishing it off with Abominable, which technically was supposed to end with The Crude's A New Age, but technically it wasn't free. It tricked me in thinking it was free on Vudu, but technically it was just a Yule log for Christmas or something. But anyways, before we get started reviewing it, I do have a couple of announcements before. So I did mention this in one of my previous videos, the May video, one of the May videos, the one that I had to post June 1st, because I had some issues with like downloading it and stuff. And also, I was kind of thinking I wasn't going to make videos this weekend because I actually got a new dog. She's a French Bulldog, and her name is Reina. I'm not going to show her you guys yet, but I'm just going to be talking about her because she's literally outside of my house, outside in the living room right now, just chilling with my dad because, you know, French Bulldogs like to sleep a lot. So, that's what she's doing with my dad. But, you know, they're being careful of, like, because I'm not ready, even though I'm scared of dogs, they wouldn't get this dog to put me in harm's way. So they're not going to get a dog that's going to put me in harm's way. So they know what to do. So, like, they find ways to distract the dog from attracting it from me. And I kind of like the way they do it. So they keep me safe, and throughout the week, I've actually been feeling better. Another announcement that I gotta make is that today, I actually just got my first dose of the COVID vaccine. Yes, I did, and I was very nervous for it, but to be honest, it didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. But yeah, so and so if you see this arm, because I got it on this arm, if you see it not work the way you saw it in my other videos, then just be aware that I got my vaccine and it's kind of sore. So that's the only announcement. But before we get into Spirit Untamed, even though this is a new release review, this is my first series that I've done on my channel. So we gotta do this, and let's review the DreamWorks film that I wasn't able to review, which was Trolls World Tour. And this is just a quick review. So if you saw my ranking of last year when I ranked all 14 movies that I saw of 2020, you know that I was not the biggest fan of Trolls World Tour. I personally believe that was one of the worst movies of 2020, and it was actually my least favorite film of that year. So if you know me, I love the first Trolls, as I said in my Abominable review, as I was talking about Home, Kung Fu Panda 3, Trolls, Boss Baby, and Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. Trolls was one of those films that I actually did love, and to this day I still love, because I just love the way they handled the characters, the soundtrack, the theme of being happy, this whole world and all these characters and the situations that happened. Granted, some of the way the situations and jokes happen, it's very kiddish and very poop. It has like poop jokes and stuff. But besides that, it's a great movie for me. But this film kind of abandons that and makes it for a very weird plot line. So I was kind of excited for this film because, of course, I loved the first Trolls, but also it kind of had, according to the trailers, it kind of had like this Avengers Infinity War vibe where if Barb collects all these 6 strings, then she's going to like destroy half of all life in the universe, which are basically references to Thanos. So they have, but this movie is nothing like Avengers Infinity War. the whole backstory of all these strings is just so confusing. And then Poppy leaves, and then the long weird troll leaves to find his other family and hears about what's going on with the other trolls. And then like Branch, he has like this crush for Poppy, and he doesn't know how to talk to her, and it just seems very awkward when it happens. And then they even casted Ozzy Osbourne as one of the trolls, and they made this twist and turn as he was one of the country trolls, and they made that, I think that twist was very bad. Well, I mean, it was shocking at first, but when you rewatch it, it's not very good. I mean, I haven't really watched this movie since. And when you get to the end of it, it's not very satisfying because you don't really know what you learned. I mean, granted, it has sort of that theme, and like there's not really any theme of what you learned. And then Barb and Poppy become friends, and it's like you don't really care about that. So overall, it's not really careable, and it's just not careable for me. And then likewise, one of the best things about the first film is that the soundtrack is on point, and it's probably one of the best movie soundtracks since Guardians of the Galaxy and Twilight and the Twilight movies. But this movie does not even have a good soundtrack. Like, none of the songs in this movie really popped to me. So overall, it is another one of those bad DreamWorks movies. But now let's get into the real film we're talking about here, Spirit Untamed. Alright, so for me, really the first thing that I absolutely love about this film is really just the animation style. So when I was going into this film and I heard that they were making a sequel to an animated film that was a cartoon, which was released the year Lilo and Stitch and Treasure Planet came out, I was kind of skeptical because how can you make a animated film, a sequel to an animated movie that came out in 2002 when it was a cartoon, when cartoons were being made? And and when you think about it, we're in 2021 and cartoon movies aren't really a thing anymore. Granted, we have cartoon shows such as the Mickey Mouse shorts, but we don't have cartoon movies like we did in like the 2000s and the 90s and stuff like that. We have like 3D animation like Raya and the Last Dragon, Frozen 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet. We have films like that where they use 3D animation. And as it is a film that takes place in this universe, the animation is just stunning. It's not like animation that's gonna win like an Oscar, but for this film specifically, it is pretty cool to look at. Well, whenever they just have like the vision, when you just see the whole lookout of the whole city, and you like see the blue sky and the white clouds, it looks like you just brought it out of a book, because that's technically what that's kind of what this movie's based off of. It is a sequel to Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron, but it's also it's also a sequel to the show. But I think they've also made books about the movie too, with these characters and stuff. So yeah, the animation is stunning, and some of the characters just look so real and stunning, and yeah, the animation is just one of the best things about the film. Another thing I kind of liked was some of the characters were actually pretty understandable people and pretty funny. Like, and probably the big standouts was Abigail, I believe that's her name, Abby or something, and her little brother and the donkey. I think that they were the two standout characters of the entire film. They were the ones that were the scene stealers, and as for Abigail, she was like singing, and she knocked a branch out of her face to be like, "Shut up, your singing is bad." And then like the kid with the donkey, he's trying to be one of the people that rides horses, but he's stuck with the donkey, so the donkey just doesn't care, and he's like, "Ee-aw, ee-aw." He couldn't care less, and it's like they are the scene stealers of the entire film. So I loved that about the movie. Other things you gotta talk about is that with what's her name? I forgot the daughter's name. See, the characters I do like, but the characters are kind of forgettable. Let me look the name of the daughter up, because I honestly do not remember. Hold up. Spirit. Sorry, I literally forgot. Whatever. So the daughter's name, she has like this kind of story that drives throughout the film with her father, and I think that that the relationship between her and her father was just very interesting. It's not like gonna win an Oscar or anything, but the relationship I thought was actually kind of nice and brought some pretty good stuff to this table. And there was, and beyond, even though I said that the kid with the donkey and Abigail, even though I thought they were the standouts, I think that there's a lot of other characters that make a lot of jokes in the film that just works so nicely, well done, and it's like when they say the jokes, you feel like they kind of feel real and feel relatable at some points, and it's kind of cool the way they do it with the jokes. And like some of the I think some of the music is actually pretty well done, especially like when the daughter is singing to get across this bridge, like that's amazing. That's beautiful storytelling right there. And also, it also has a pretty good theme about not giving up, and I kind of like that. So overall, there's some pretty good stuff, but unfortunately we have to move on to the bad. So for me, this film kind of had some very weak storytelling. Well, not weak storytelling, but like when you entered the film, some of the pacing kind of felt off. Some of the pacing kind of felt a little bit off. Like once you get into the film, it really just okay. It literally just like once they tell the story of the backstory of the mom and the dad and the daughter, they just pass through that and then skip to the present day. And I mean, they don't do anything emotionally with the story. They don't do anything with that backstory. Granted, they show some respect to the daughter's mom, but they don't pay any like respect. Like they don't really explain how she died or something, and it's not done very well. Another thing you gotta talk about is that the movie just kind of moves too fast with like so many jokes, and it just feels so off-putting to me. Like there's a specific scene where like there are certain scenes where like there's just some awkward scenes in this movie sometimes where someone is getting splattered food all over their face, or saying these really weird jokes that just do not work in the film, or especially Jake Gyllenhaal's character, where he's basically this awkward dad who's trying to get with his daughter, not get with her, but like she's trying to get to know her better as a person since she hasn't seen her, but his performance as a dad was just kind of weird. Even though he looked like Kristoff, his performance was not that good. So those are my issues with the film, but everything else is pretty solid, and overall, I thought Spirit Untamed was a pretty good movie. Before I give you my final score, be sure to tell me down below, what do you guys think about Spirit Untamed? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? We're right there in between. Let's get some nice discussions going. We're right. With that said, let's get on with my scores. Alright, so that's it for my Spirited Untamed review. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My Instagram name is Marvel6 and my TikTok name is Marvel1Fan. If you guys don't understand those names, head to my back section so you can follow me on all social medias. I'm also on Letterboxd. It's the same name as my Instagram, Marvel_6_, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.